They were in your living room every week, then suddenly gone without explanation. The truth about their disappearances is stranger than any script they ever performed. You remember their faces, their catchphrases, the characters that made them famous. But do you know why they vanished from your screens? Today we're investigating the mysterious disappearances of beloved TV stars who walked away from fame and fortune, sometimes at the peak of their careers. The unexplained exit of Dave Chappelle. In 2005, Dave Chappelle was on top of the entertainment world. His sketch comedy show, Chappelle's Show, had become a cultural phenomenon, and Comedy Central had just offered him a $50 million contract for 2 more seasons. Then, without warning, he disappeared. Production for season 3 had already begun when Chappelle abruptly left the set during filming. He boarded a plane and fled to South Africa, leaving behind not just the show, but also the massive payday. "I was doing sketches that were funny, but socially irresponsible," Chappelle later explained to Oprah Winfrey. "The bottom line was, white people laughing at the wrong parts of the joke." What seemed like career suicide ultimately became a principled stand that earned Chappelle respect. After over a decade away from the spotlight, he returned to comedy on his own terms, with Netflix specials that earned him both critical acclaim and millions of dollars. Katherine Heigl's Hollywood exile. Few falls from grace have been as dramatic as Katherine Heigl's. After rising to fame on Grey's Anatomy and transitioning to box office success with films like Knocked Up, Heigl was poised to become one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Then came the comments. In 2008, she withdrew her name from Emmy consideration, publicly stating that she did not feel I was given the material this season to warrant a nomination. A year later, she criticized her film, Knocked Up, as a little sexist in a Vanity Fair interview. Almost overnight, Heigl went from A-list to blacklist. Job offers dried up, and her reputation as difficult followed her throughout the industry. By 2010, she had negotiated an early release from her Grey's Anatomy contract. "The more I said I was sorry, the more they wanted it," Heigl later reflected on the backlash. After years away from major roles, Heigl has slowly rebuilt her career, though she has never regained the trajectory that once seemed inevitable. Shelley Duvall's heartbreaking retreat. For a generation of children, Shelley Duvall was the embodiment of olive oil in Popeye and the warm host of fairy tale theater. For film buffs, she was the terrorized wife in The Shining. But by the late 1990s, Duvall had completely disappeared from Hollywood. The mystery of her absence remained largely unexplained until 2016, when she reappeared on Dr. Phil in a segment that shocked viewers. Duvall appeared to be suffering from serious mental health issues, making rambling statements about implants in her body and threats to her life. The exploitative nature of the interview sparked outrage. Dr. Phil was accused of taking advantage of Duvall's condition, rather than helping her get proper treatment. Following the controversy, Duvall retreated once again to her private life in Texas. Her story represents one of Hollywood's most tragic disappearances, a beloved figure who left the spotlight only to return in heartbreaking circumstances before vanishing again. Rick Moranis, the family man who walked away. In the 1980s and early 1990s, Rick Moranis was comedy royalty. With standout roles in Ghostbusters, Spaceballs, and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, his nerdy persona made him one of Hollywood's most reliable stars. Then in 1997, following the death of his wife from breast cancer, Moranis made an extraordinary decision. He walked away from his career at its peak to raise his 2 children as a single father. "I'm a single parent, and I just found that it was too difficult to manage raising my kids and doing the traveling involved in making movies," Moranis explained years later. "So I took a little bit of a break, and the little bit of a break turned into a longer break, and then I found that I really didn't miss it." Unlike other actors on this list, Moranis' disappearance wasn't driven by controversy. It was a conscious choice to prioritize family over fame. For nearly 23 years, Moranis remained largely absent from screens, taking only occasional voice roles that didn't require him to leave home. In 2020, Moranis briefly returned for a Mint Mobile commercial with Ryan Reynolds, sparking joy among fans. He's slated to return in a new Honey, I Shrunk the Kids sequel, ending one of Hollywood's longest departures. Maya Campbell, a promising career derailed. In the 1990s, Maya Campbell was a rising star thanks to her role as Nicole on the popular sitcom In the House. Alongside LL Cool J Beautiful and Talented, Campbell seemed destined for a long career. Behind the scenes, however, Campbell was battling bipolar disorder. After In the House ended, her mental health struggles, complicated by substance abuse, made it increasingly difficult for her to maintain her career. By the early 2000s, she had disappeared from Hollywood entirely. Campbell's story took a disturbing turn when videos of her appeared online showing her disheveled and incoherent, apparently soliciting drugs in Atlanta. These exploitative videos went viral, turning a once promising actress's struggles into entertainment. LL Cool J attempted to reach out to Campbell, posting on social media, "If anyone has a way of getting in touch with her, please let me know." In recent years, Campbell has reportedly sought treatment, though her story remains one of television's most sobering disappearances. McLean Stevenson's self-imposed exile. McLean Stevenson made television history as Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake on MASH, one of the most beloved characters on TV. When his character was killed off in the Season 3 finale, audiences were shocked. What many didn't realize was that Stevenson had chosen to leave the ensemble show, believing he deserved to be the star of his own series. "I know I will not be in anything as good as this show," Stevenson reportedly told the cast before leaving, "but I have to leave and be number one." What followed was one of television's most notable career miscalculations. Stevenson's post-MASH shows all failed quickly. By the 1980s, he was reduced to appearing as a game show panelist. Before his death in 1996, Stevenson acknowledged his mistake. "I made the mistake of believing that people were enamored of McLean Stevenson when the person they were enamored of was Henry Blake, Jack Gleeson, the king who abdicated." When Jack Gleeson portrayed the sadistic King Joffrey on Game of Thrones, he created one of television's most hated villains. Fans celebrated when his character was finally killed off in the series' 4th season. What they didn't realize was that Gleeson was also saying goodbye to acting altogether. At just 21 years old, after appearing in one of television's biggest shows, Gleeson announced his retirement from professional acting. It wasn't because of typecasting concerns. Gleeson simply didn't enjoy fame. "I've been acting since age 8. I just stopped enjoying it as much as I used to," Gleeson explained. "When you make a living from something, it changes your relationship with it. It's not like I hate it, it's just not what I want to do." Instead, Gleeson returned to academics, studying philosophy and theology at Trinity College Dublin. He later co-founded a theater company working behind the scenes rather than in the spotlight. Gleeson's story offers a rare example of someone who achieved massive success and simply decided it wasn't what he wanted, walking away at the height of his fame to pursue a more normal life. What these disappeared stars show us is that fame isn't the ultimate prize many assume it to be. Some found new purpose, some fought personal demons, and others simply decided to prioritize what matters most to them beyond the glow of the spotlight. Their stories reveal the complex reality behind television's glamorous facade. Click subscribe to uncover more Hollywood mysteries.